A whirling dervish is a practitioner from the Mevlevi Order of Sufism. It's a mystical branch of Islam who engages in a distinctive and captivating form of spiritual meditation and worship known as the Sema. This elaborate ceremony involves continuous ritualized spinning, which serves as a moving form of the remembrance of God, or dhikr. And if I'm pronouncing anything wrong, that's on me. I apologize. The entire practice is deeply symbolic. The dervish's tall, conical hat represents the ego's tombstone, while a black cloak signifies the grave, later shed to reveal white robes of resurrection and purity. As they whirl, typically counter-clockwise, one arm is raised to receive divine grace, and the other is lowered to channel it to the earth, embodying a conduit between the heavenly and the earthly realms. Founded in the 13th century by the followers of the renowned Persian poet and mystic Rumi in Konya, Turkey, the Mevlevi Order uses the Sema to help its participants, known as Symbolisms, transcend their ego, achieve a state of spiritual ecstasy, and experience a profound union with the divine. It's a physically demanding yet serene meditation symbolizing the harmonious cosmic dance of planets around the sun and serving as a path to intense spiritual devotion rather than merely a performance. To truly understand what a whirling dervish is, we need to talk about what the Sema ceremony is all about. The ceremony is a highly disciplined ritual. It's not a spontaneous spin. Each Symbolism embarks on years of rigorous training, not just in the physical act of whirling, but in the spiritual tenets of the Mevlevi path. The continuous spinning is performed with astonishing grace and control, requiring immense focus and balance. The dervish keeps their heads slightly tilted to the right, eyes fixed on the left thumb, maintaining a stable axis while their body rotates. This physical precision aids in achieving a profound meditative state, often described as a controlled trance, a state of heightened awareness where the individual ego recedes, opening a channel to spiritual insights. The symbolic attire is central to this transformation. The tall felt hat, called a sikha, represents a tombstone of the ego, signifying the death of the lower self. The heavy dark wool cloak, or hurka, symbolizes the grave, representing the shedding of worldly attachments. When the dervish removes the hurka at the beginning of the Sema to reveal the spotless white robe, it is a powerful symbolic act of resurrection, rising from the grave of the ego, purified and ready for spiritual rebirth. This visual transformation sets the stage for the inner journey of the Sema. The arm movements are equally potent. As the Symbolism whirls, the right hand is typically raised with the palm open to the heavens, symbolizing the reception of God's blessing and grace. The left hand is extended downwards, palm open to the earth, signifying the distribution of those divine gifts to humanity. This posture embodies the dervish as a conduit, a channel through which divine energy flows into the world, emphasizing their role not just in personal enlightenment, but in universal compassion and service. The entire body becomes a living prayer, a moving mandala, embodying the Mevlevi ideals of love, humility, and selfless devotion. To grasp the depth of the whirling dervish tradition, we need to kind of travel back to the 13th century Anatolia, a land then simmering with diverse spiritual currents and vibrant intellectual exchange. And it was here in the city of Konya that the profound spiritual legacy of Maulana Jalaluddin Muhammad Balkhi Rumi took root. Rumi was not merely a poet, he was a scholar, a theologian, a jurist, and a deeply spiritual man. His life was one of conventional religious scholarship, highly respected and learned. However, Rumi's life underwent a seismic transformation around 1244 CE with the arrival of a wandering dervish named Shams of Tabriz. Shams was a mystic of radical spiritual intensity, and his friendship with Rumi ignited a spark that would forever change Rumi's path. Their bond was one of intense spiritual discourse and mutual illumination, a relationship so profound that when Shams mysteriously disappeared, believed by some to have been murdered, Rumi was plunged into an agonizing grief that ultimately transformed into an outpouring of divine love and ecstatic poetry. It was during this period of intense longing and spiritual fervor that Rumi is said to have spontaneously begun to whirl, perhaps around a pillar or simply in his garden, as his soul ached for union with the divine beloved, often personified in his longing for Shams. This raw, unbridled expression of love became the embryonic form of the Sema. After Rumi's passing in 1273 CE, his teachings and the spiritual practices he inspired needed a structure to endure. It was his son, Sultan Veled, a brilliant scholar and mystic in his own right, who took on the monumental task, along with Chalebi Hüsamettin, Rumi's close spiritual companion. Sultan Veled meticulously organized Rumi's spontaneous expressions of devotion into a formal spiritual path. They established the rules and rituals and philosophical underpinnings that would define the Mevlevi order. The lodge in Konya, where Rumi was buried, became the spiritual heart of the order, a place where dervishes would train, live, and practice the Sema. The Mevlevi order quickly flourished, gaining significant influence throughout the Ottoman Empire. Its members were not just spiritual recluses, they included scholars, artists, musicians, and even statesmen. Their emphasis on tolerance, love, and human service, combined with the mesmerizing beauty of the Sema, appealed across social strata. Mevlevi lodges became centers of learning, poetry, music, and social welfare, embodying a holistic approach to spiritual development that integrated intellectual pursuit with ecstatic practice. They served as vital cultural bridges, spreading Rumi's universal message of divine love far and wide. However, the Mevlevi order, like many religious institutions, faced challenges. In the early 20th century, with the fall of the Ottoman Empire and the rise of the secular Turkish Republic under Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, all Sufi orders, including the Mevlevi, were officially banned in 1925. Their lodges were closed, their properties confiscated, and their rituals forbidden in public, seen as symbols of an outdated, pre-modern past. Yet, the spiritual flame did not die. The practice continued in secret, passed down through families and devoted followers. In the mid-20th century, there was a gradual cultural revival, and the Sema was eventually recognized as a significant part of Turkish cultural heritage, allowing public performances and, more recently, a limited return to its spiritual practice. And today, Mevlevi dervishes remain guardians of a profound spiritual legacy, balancing the demands of a tradition with the realities of the modern world. And just to go a little bit deeper into that history, in 1953, the Turkish government allowed a limited public performance in Konya to mark Rumi's death anniversary, which signaled a shift, and this paved the way for its official recognition as an intangible cultural heritage. Rumi's poetry, translated and popularized worldwide, brought international attention to the dervishes, and by the 60s and 70s, Western interest in mysticism and spirituality, fueled by the counterculture movement, elevated the whirl as a symbol of universal love and peace, detached from its Islamic roots. The Turkish government, seeing economic potential, began promoting dervish performances as a tourist attraction in the 70s. If you grew up like I did in the 70s and 80s, you can remember these people, these dance troupes and stuff like that everywhere. Television was becoming more popular, and these visuals, these people twirling with these billowing cloaks and jackets and stuff like that were mesmerizing for the time. The UNESCO designation of the Mevlevi Sema ceremony as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2005 further cemented its status, turning it into a global cultural icon while diluting its religious controversy. The Sema is far more than a dance. It's a meticulously choreographed drama of the soul's journey, deeply imbued with Sufi philosophy and cosmic mythology. Every element, every turn, and every musical note is a deliberate step on a path towards divine union. And at its core, the Sema is a metaphor for the soul's journey from separation to reunion with God. It's a cosmic dance that reflects the universal motion of all creation. Imagine the celestial bodies, planets revolving around the sun, stars spiraling in galaxies. The dervish's spin mimics the fundamental cosmic order. The left foot, rooted to the ground, represents the axis of the earth, symbolizing steadfastness and connection to the mundane world, while the right foot propels the continuous rotation, driving the soul towards the divine. It's a journey out of the material world and back to the spiritual, echoing the soul's supposed pre-eternal journey from God and its yearning for return. Central to this journey are two foundational Sufi concepts, Fana and Baga. Fana means annihilation or passing away. In the context of the Sema, it refers to the complete dissolution of the ego, the personal self, and all worldly attachments. As the dervish whirls, the continuous repetitive motion, combined with the rhythmic music and the focused intention, helps to quiet the mind, shed distractions, and dissolve the boundaries of individual identity. It's a surrender, of a letting go, an ecstatic annihilation of the I until only the divine remains. This is the death of the ego that the Sika and Herka symbolize. But Fana is not an end in itself. It is a gateway to Baga, which means subsistence or abiding in God. After the ecstatic experience of Fana, the Semazin returns, not to their old self, but to a purified self, abiding in the awareness of God's presence. They become a vessel for divine love and wisdom integrated back into the world, but with a transformed consciousness. This mirrors the spiritual journey. The soul descends from God, experiences the world, then seeks to ascend back, transformed and eternally connected. The Sema is a ritualized reenactment of the cycle of spiritual death and rebirth, separation and reunion. The music of Sema, particularly the haunting memories of the ney, a reed flute, is absolutely crucial. The sound of the ney is said to represent the soul's primordial cry of longing for its divine origin, echoing the Sufi belief that all souls were once united with God before their descent into the material world. Its mournful yet ethereal tones invite the Semazin into a deeper meditative state, guiding their spiritual journey. The rhythmic drumming provides the heartbeat of the universe, and the chanting of divine names further focuses the mind. The Ani Sem, the specific musical composition for the Sema, is divided into 4 salams or sections, each representing a stage of the soul's journey. The first salam recognizes God's existence in unity. The second salam is about experiencing the awe and wonder of creation. The third salam is about annihilating the self in divine love. And the fourth salam is returning from spiritual ecstasy to serve humanity. This structured sequence, guided by music and spiritual intention, makes the Sema a living, breathing theological treatise, a narrative of ascension and return. It's a mystical dance that tells the story of Tawhid, the absolute oneness of God, not just as a concept, but as a felt reality where every spin affirms the unity of creation with its creator. It's a profound journey of love, echoing Rumi's central message. Beyond the mosque, beyond the church, beyond the synagogue, our paths are one. The Sema is a physical manifestation of this universal spiritual path, a dance of divine love in its purest form. While the Sema ceremony is a public face of the Whirling Dervishes, the life of a Semazin is one of rigorous spiritual discipline that extends far beyond the whirling chamber. Being a dervish is a commitment to a way of life steeped in humility, self-control, and service. The Mevlevi Order historically operated through lodges, which served as centers of spiritual training, communal living, and intellectual pursuit. Here, aspiring dervishes would undergo a demanding period of education and spiritual formation, often lasting for 1,001 days. This training involved not just learning the intricate steps and symbolism of the Sema, but also cultivating inner virtues, patience, tolerance, compassion, and the systemic purification of the heart. They would engage in the remembrance of God through repetitive chanting, study Rumi's vast poetic masterpiece, the Masnavi, and perform various practical duties within the lodge, emphasizing the sacredness of everyday work and the importance of selfless service to the community. Humility was paramount. The dervish was taught to shed all pride and ego, living a life of simplicity and dedication. The Masnavi, Rumi's colossal work of over 25,000 couplets, is often called the Quran in Persian, due to its profound spiritual insights. It's not just poetry. It's a guide to the Sufi path filled with parables, allegories, and mystical interpretations of Islamic teachings. For the Mevlevi dervishes, the Masnavi is a living text, studied, recited, and internalized, serving as the philosophical backbone to their physical dance. The poetry provides the intellectual and emotional framework for the ecstatic experience of the Sema, guiding the Semazins' intention and understanding of the divine love they seek to embody. The legacy of the Whirling Dervishes extends far beyond their historical and spiritual significance. It has transcended cultural boundaries, captivating audiences worldwide, and the profound message of tolerance, universal love, and the pursuit of inner peace is central to Rumi's teachings and embodied in the Sema, and it resonates deeply across faiths and philosophies. In a world often fractured by division, the dervish's silent, harmonious spin offers a powerful symbol of unity and the possibility of transcending earthly conflicts through spiritual devotion. Today, while the Sema is sometimes performed as a cultural spectacle, particularly for tourists in Turkey, its deepest essence remains a sacred spiritual practice, and for those who commit to the Mevlevi path, it's not entertainment but an ongoing living tradition of prayer, meditation, and a direct path to the divine. It's a testament to the enduring power of ancient wisdom, teaching us that sometimes the most profound journey is not found in stillness, but in a mesmerizing dance that mirrors the very movement of the cosmos, leading the soul back to its silent, infinite source. So, the Whirling Dervish is more than just a spinner in a white robe. It's a living embodiment of centuries of spiritual philosophy, a vibrant piece of history, and a mesmerizing mythological journey. From Rumi's heartbroken longing that ignited a cosmic dance to the disciplined life of devotion within the lodges, The Whirling Dervishes offer a profound vision of faith transformed into movement. They invite us to witness a devotion so pure, it seeks to erase the self and become one with the universe, a continuous spin towards the heart of divine love. Like it if you like it. Don't like it if you don't like the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's it for me. Have a great day.